from day 8. It's day 8? I guess it's technically 7 days post the day, but surgery last Friday, so we're a week out. Week out, first week down. The hardest week, probably. The week where you're really not allowed to do too much, or not supposed to be doing too much. So the number one, which is good, I mentioned this the last video, it's good that right now my number one enemy is boredom, and not pain. Because right now, I gotta tell you, I'm not really in much pain at all. Like, I feel like I could walk around the block if I wanted to. Like, seriously, I don't know about full weight bearing, but like, if you gave me a cane, yeah, I could probably walk around the block with a cane. The only place of the house where I feel like a little like holy crap moment is in the shower. Because like it is funny, like when you're on crutches, when you walk into a bathroom, it's like, you know, you turn into Edgar Allan Poe for a minute and you're just like, death is all around me. Like, it's just like there are so many places that you look in a bathroom and you're like, I could die there, pass out there, concussion there, or slip and destroy my hip and be back in surgery over there. There are so many places like that walking into a bathroom. And just when you get like a little bit of wetness on the floor too, the crutches like slide like crazy. Anyways, so as I said yesterday, today was, the main update of today is that today was my first physio appointment. And so just got back from that a little bit ago, 10, 15 minutes ago. And so I'll keep this brief because I'll need to sit down in a minute just to give my leg a bit of a rest. It's starting to swell up a little bit. And so, yeah, I'll keep this short and brief as I can make it. But overall, it was quite frustrating. It just kills me, honestly. It's just like, so in my endurance career, going back to, if we call it that, going back to 2011, I must have seen 50 to 75 physios in that time. And it's just, I have not, you know that U2 song, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For? I feel like belting it out from the top of a balcony if I could get to it right now. Because it's just like, my God, like I've met like 50 or 75 of you. And I haven't met one, not one, who I came out of that appointment and was like, A, feeling like I got my money's worth, and B, feeling better than when I went in terms of feeling, you know, more confident in the path ahead, and or feeling like, you know, there was an original idea presented to me. I have never, as I said, in 50 to 75 encounters with physiotherapists, I have never met one who has come up with an original idea on anything that I've stopped and said, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. Not one. And I know this sounds arrogant, is coming off probably as quite arrogant, but it's just like, it's expensive, man. Like, I paid $140 today for a physio appointment. And honestly, got nothing. Absolutely nothing out of it. And I leave and I feel like ill because I'm like, $140. I know that may not sound like a lot, but for someone with quite a low income, it is freaking painful in that it's just like, do you know what I could have bought for $140? I could have bought 2 freaking bike chains for that. You know, like literally, I could buy 2 KMC gold chains for that price. Like $140, I could buy a Continental Grand Prix 5000 TT tire. Like literally. I could buy a 2-pack of GP 5000s just for training. Like there's so many things like I could think of. Mostly bike related. That like it's just like I could have bought that. I could have bought that. I could have put that towards that or that or that. I'd like to get myself a little tablet at one point in my life. That'd be nice, especially when I'm doing aero testing. Instead of having to bring my Mac. Yeah, it'd be really nice to have an iPad there instead of a Mac. Could I get an iPad for $599 or $500? Yeah, $140. Okay, so it's like 25% of the Mac. So it's like 25% of it. So that would have been nice. And I'm not saying that I would go and do that, but I'm just saying it's like, it just feels like money that I just took and just flushed down the drain. And it's the same, and it seems to be like I'm getting getting a little unlucky with things too, because it's like, so today I went and 9:30 was the appointment, and like, first of all, I was a little ticked that I had to pay before I even got seen, which is just like, wow, that's awfully confident of you. It'd be like, can you imagine going to like a sit down restaurant and like paying before the waiter's even seen you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that seems a little like, that's awfully confident of yourself. I think it's more appropriate, and I do, just from a patient perspective. And if there are any physio friends watching, like, know that from a physio perspective, that kind of sets us off a little bit, because I feel like the service should be rendered before payment. Because then at least you feel like, I've had my physio, now I pay for my physio. I've had my meal, it was good, now I pay for it. And instead of just being like, I'm paying, and at this point in time, I've got nothing. So I don't know what I'm paying for right now. Because like, imagine what I think should have happened today, personally, is I think what should have happened is the person see me and go through the appointment, and her come up to the front with me and maybe say something like, hey, by the way, we didn't end up doing really anything, because he was already doing everything that needed to be done and knew exactly what needed to be done. And so instead of charging the full 140 assessment fee, right, let's go down to the 85 treatment fee, just for today, right? I think that would have been more appropriate, personally. But yeah, I went in and I had, and this is the second time in a row now, very nice person, but I am quite positive that this person was either a resident physio or a first-year physio. And that's the second time I've had that now. The other time was when I first had CRPS diagnosis given. I went to Guelph, to their, what is it called at Guelph? David Bradley? No, that's McMaster. Whatever the Guelph Center is called. Their student wellness center, whatever. HPC, that's it, Health Performance Center. I saw someone there, and they knew the diagnosis was CRPS. And they gave me a physio there who was literally, and I'm not making this up, literally was a resident physio. Meaning, at that time, means they've passed the written exam, but they have not actually taken and or passed, either one, the practical. Like, they're signed up for the practical, but they haven't either taken it or they've taken it and they don't know, and you don't know if they've passed or not at that point in time. And it's just like, let me get this straight. I'm coming to you with a diagnosis of, literally in the title, complex regional pain syndrome, and you're going to give this person, and with the combination of pudendal neuralgia, which, let me tell you something, in physio school, you do not learn about pudendal neuralgia at all. In physio school, actually, you learn extremely minimal around pelvic floor dysfunction at all. Like around any pelvic floor problems. You learn a little bit around, treating people like women who are pregnant. You learn a little bit around that, but not much. I think there was, anyway, I can't talk about that, but because confidential stuff, in terms of testing and whatnot, but you're not allowed to. I'm not allowed to get into crazy detail on, things that are tested or not tested. I can't, just legally speaking, I'm not allowed to. And so all I'm saying is there was extremely minimal on pelvic floor. And so I am coming to you with actually a very complicated diagnosis of pudendal neuralgia, which is extremely complicated. And very, very multifaceted. And with an added component of complex regional pain syndrome, which again in physio school you learn close to nothing about. Very minimal. Basically surface level, okay? But you're not going deep in depth on chronic pain disorders. Like you're learning a little bit about, fibromyalgia, a little bit about CRPS, a little bit about this, a little bit about that, but you are not going deep dives into CRPS. Not that much. A little bit. Just you don't have time, right? You're going through I'm being serious here. I in my undergraduate degree, I went more in depth on learning about the hip and hip pathologies than I did in physio school. And that's a fact. Literally, in my undergrad, I took an entire course on hip and back. It was called Athletic Injuries Body Core. And the entire course for 4 months was on back and hips. That was it. That was all you learned about. And in physio school, we finished doing the hip in, I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks, right? It was 2 weeks. I think one of the problems was on a hip. And so, yeah, you just don't have time because you're going almost like a GP, right? You're going very surface level in everything. And so, yeah, you don't have the time to be like, hey, we're going to go learn CRPS for 5 months, you just don't have that kind of time. So I just found it incredibly, quite frankly, I found it asinine that someone's coming to you with pudendal neuralgia and CRPS, two very complicated disorders, and the fact that they're occurring in the same person. The odds of that happening in the same person are close to none. If you actually worked the numbers out, it would be 1 in 100 million chance of having the two simultaneous. If you looked at, the prevalence of the one and prevalence of the other, and, you multiplied, the one over whatever times the one over whatever, I think it would end up coming to 1 in 100 million chance of having both simultaneous. And so you have a 1 in 100 million patient, and you're giving a resident physio. Likewise, today was given a first year and or resident. I didn't ask if she was a resident, but she was 24. And so she's one of two, first year or a resident. And it's just annoying because even though in my case right now, in terms of FAI surgery, hip arthroscopy and labral repair, even though I understand that that's not it's not incredibly complex to the point that, now, this is a 1 in 100 million type case here, even though I know that's not the case. It's it would be nice if I felt this person has seen this before. You know, they've treated this before and they've helped people not only get better, but in my case, and seen as I'm going to a sports clinic, not only have they helped people get better from it, but they've helped people return to elite level sport, which is what I'm looking for, right? You know, next year I'll be, you know, well, in a week, I'll be 33. And so I'm going to be trying to make a comeback to elite level triathlon. And with where I think I am right now in terms of my bike and everything, and I think approaching things much more professionally and maturely than I previously did, I am not coming back here to get participation medals. Not at all. I am not in the game for that anymore. I'm well past that point. I'm well past that point of being like, you know, oh, you know, I'm just going to, you know, go to X race to just kind of, I just want to put a result on the board and just kind of see where I am. I'm well past that point. I can't afford to do that, right, anymore. I'll be 33, as I said. And so it's like, it's, I'm trying to return to a point, and I'm not trying to put pressure onto myself that it becomes crippling, because that could be a really terrible mindset to be in, to be like, oh, you know, you got to come top 5 or this is a bust in whatever race. I'm not doing that, but what I'm saying is I am not doing all of this work, right, to return to get participation medals. I'm doing this because I am trying to come back to a point that I can compete for wins, at least on the North American scene, right? I'm not at the point where I'm in a position where I'm like, oh, you know, I'm looking for a T100. Not like, I'm at a point right now where I'm like, for next year, my goal would be to be competing in North American professional races and be competing at a very high level in those races, not being a back of the pack or middle of the pack. I would like to be up near the front. And yeah, maybe, you know, I can't beat maybe the top guys right now, but I would like to at least be in the ballpark of at least being able to say I am competing. I'm not just participating. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I wanna be in the race, not just be at the race, if you know what I mean. That's my goal. And whether that happens or not is up to me ultimately at the end of the day, but that's my goal, and that's what all of this is working towards. That's what everything is working towards. And so I just think it's a little inappropriate, you know, like someone's had a very major surgery, because it is. It's like I don't know if I said it before, but like it was like a 3.5 hour long surgery. Like this isn't little surgery. This is a major surgery where they have not only repaired a fully torn labrum. That's besides the point, but they have been shaving down and reshaping my femur and my pelvis in the acetabulum and getting rid of both the cam and the pincer, right? So this is a very major surgery, right? And so it's just like, I feel like giving me someone who's like literally fresh out of school, who's never seen this before. She has the Fowler Kennedy thing open on her page and she's reading through it as we're doing it. It's just like, I would have loved today to meet someone who I was like, I feel like I'm in good hands. Just because I walked into that room, and again, this isn't to try to sound arrogant or anything, but it's just like, there was no denying at all who the alpha was in the room here. You know, there's no question who the alpha was in this interaction, and it was me, right? I was the guy guiding the assessment. I was the guy guiding, you know, the questions, and here, like, you know, in order, you know, here's the symptoms, here's what I'm taking for them, here's how I'm all these things. I was the guy driving the conversation. I was the guy driving even, you know, like put it this way. So at the end of the appointment, slim to nothing got done. She said at one point she was going to do passive range of motion. She did one where she brought my hip up, and then that was the end of the story. Like then I started talking like in terms of how it felt, and then it seemed like she got distracted and didn't finish. right? So it was like, okay, so I guess we're not doing passive range of motion. We assessed it in 1, but okay. And I was the guy after, like she was about to leave. I was like, can I get some? And I said it politely. No, this like I'm a very polite person. A lot of times too polite in a lot of these cases and scenarios. And in this scenario, it was like I said before I left. I'm like, hey, can I like get in the game ready machine? You mind if I like fire this up for me? Right, to just get some ice on the hip here. Because that is one thing. Cause like I know with all of this, there's an undertone of all of this where it's like, a reality of all this where it's, I know she can't do everything, right? We're only 7 days post-surgery. I understand, like, she's not going to be having me bouncing off walls at this point, right? Or, doing, like, box jumps. I get that. I fully get that. But passive range of motion is something that she can do. It's something that she should be doing. It literally even says it on the Fowler Kennedy. Passive range of motion assisted by the physiotherapist, right? And then the other thing that you could do in terms of modalities, right, to at least give me something for $140 is ice. That is something very simple, right? Instead of just having me, especially considering, even though you didn't do a lot of it, like theoretically, it's like you've, manipulated the hip a little bit, or in my case, getting to this appointment was hard enough because I'm having to get into quite a low car to get into it. So it's freaking hard getting in that car, like really hard. It takes a lot of my effort, right? And this is why actually yesterday I bought, I might have mentioned in the live stream yesterday that I was going to buy myself just a little gym stationary bike, just like ones that you see in the gym, because I could bike at some point, and like I'll be able to do some backwards pedaling for some passive range. But in terms of getting onto the P5, there's no way I can get my leg over the top tube. There's just no way. And so I bought I got a good deal on Facebook Marketplace, $175 for an Echelon Connect Sport. It even actually connects into Zwift, which is pretty cool. I don't know how accurate the power is. It's probably plus or minus 100, but we'll see. I think a lot of those things are like plus or minus 100, like gym bikes. But I got that, and why was I saying that? Give me 1 second. I got thrown off my train of thought. I was talking about you could do passive range of motion. You could ice. Oh, that's what I was saying. Getting in and out of the car. The reason, that was it. Okay. The reason that I got the stationary bike was because I figured getting myself to the Y to get on their stationary bikes, every single time I get into the car, there's a risk component in that, like, it's hard to try to keep the hip in acceptable ranges of motion. I'm trying my best not to get it past 90. I have the brace on and everything, but it takes a lot of effort. So it'd be really annoying to do all this effort to get in the car, to drive to the Y, to get out of the car, then to get over into the gym to the exercise bike, and all of that just to do 10 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes of backwards pedaling, and then get back in the car and then get back out of the car. It seems like a lot of effort for just 5 to 10 minutes of backwards pedaling, in terms of that's 4 car transfers and going to and from the gym. So, but 4 car transfers for a 5 to 10 minute bike, I was like, I'd rather just put the bike in the garage, right? Have one of those stationary bikes for $175, put it in the garage, and then I've eliminated 4, dangerous kind of scenarios where it's like, even though that's part of the rehab is getting back out and, integrating back out into society. It's like, at the same time, early days here, I would say probably limit how many times we're getting in and out of the car, because it is a scenario where it's easy to go past 90. It's easy to kind of, put a little bit too much weight on that leg getting out. So it's like, you're a little bit more of a protective phase right now. So I would rather have the bike in the garage. Anyways, so one thing that you can do is passive range of motion. One thing that you can do is icing, right? And so I was just like, um, can I get in the game ready machine? And it was just kind of annoying that it was like they had a knee attachment and an ankle attachment, but they had no hip attachment for the game ready machine. So they said, "Oh no, we can't because we have the hip and we have the knee and the ankle, but not the hip." And it's just like, so like part of the price of being $140 for the thing is you're paying for, you know, their overhead. You're paying for their fee of having all this equipment, the IFC machines, all these things. That's why it's expensive. It's not just the hour and time of the physio. It's you're paying their rent in some respects, right? That's the like you're paying for the clinic to operate. That's just the reality of it. And I just feel like for a patient though, if then you don't have the hip attachment for the machine, then to me, I'm like, do I get a discount? Because I feel like if I had knee surgery, for example, I would be getting a better service. So is that fair that a person having knee surgery can get the game ready machine, but a person having hip surgery doesn't have access to the game ready because you don't have the attachment? So why are we paying the same price? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why it's like you need to have the hip attachment or else it depends what surgery you're getting because you're not prepared to treat all the different types, right? If it, like they didn't have a shoulder attachment, right, for that machine. So are you also saying that if you had a rotator cuff repair and you're wanting to ice, you know, after a treatment or anything like that, you're telling me that, well, we don't have the shoulder attachment, so we can't. So why am I paying the same as the guy with the knee? Because the knee or the ankle and the knee and ankle, either one of them are getting a much better service. There's no question about it. So I said, oh, okay. Can I at least get some ice, like a pack of ice? And then I ended up having to hold, just with my hand, hold a bag of ice on the hip. And it's like, don't even have a wrap to put around this? My hand like got frostbite by the end of it. It's just like, and it's kind of uncomfortable. Like I have my head up off the thing like this, like trying to hold the bag of ice. So it's kind of uncomfortable. And it's just so Mickey Mouse. Like, my God, we're in some minor leagues here, guy. Like, anyways, I'm frustrated. I think I have another physio already booked. We'll see what I do in terms of continuing physio. If I do, I think I'm going to make a phone call and say, is it okay if not is it okay, but I would like to book in with one of the senior physios at the clinic. I do not want a resident. I do not want a first year. Because I'm telling you right now, and this sounds very arrogant again, and I apologize, but I knew way more than she knew. Way more. She knew nothing, right? She didn't. Everything, even the questions that I speculated, even though I kind of know the answer in the back of my head, but I'm just kind of like, you know, seeing where we are. And just like, no, throughout this whole thing, I am, as I said, I am very polite, like, so you know, and my mom even said this when we were in the hospital. I know you'll say she's biased because she's my mom, but like I profusely blanket like please and thank you, thanks so much, thank you so much, thank you so much, I really appreciate it, thank you so much. Like this, I'm on a broken record in the hospital. I don't raise my voice to anyone. I don't snark at anyone. Like I'm just please and thank yous. That's me, and it does burn me sometimes because there are occasions when it would be nice if I, you know, actually said what in my mind I'm like, say something, and rolling my eyes in my head, but like in person, I'm like, oh, thank you so much. That's really kind of you, even though I'm like, anyways, it would be good if I can do that sometimes. But yeah, it's like, as I said, I was definitely the alpha in this interaction. I would like somebody to meet a physio who is able to, and I'm saying this truthfully, I would like to meet a physio who overruled me. I would love it. I would love if a physio came to me, or like I saw a physio and I said something. I would absolutely love, and I am waiting for a time when I can meet a physio who, after I say something, says, actually, that's not true. And then tell me what it is. Instead of just being like, yeah, you're right. Because that's what I've met. I'm saying stuff and they're like, yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, could be. Yeah, sounds right. Yeah, probably. Yeah, exactly that. And that's all I'm hearing from their end through the entire conversation. They're not bringing anything unique to the discussion. She's not asking any. She wasn't even the one asking the pertinent questions. I was the one directing the conversation because it wasn't like it was. It just, she wasn't forward enough. You know what I mean? She wasn't controlling enough. So I think what physios need to do is, I'm not saying walk into the room with arrogance, but I think you should make it very clear when you walk into the room that like you're in charge, you know. And I'm not saying this like that you're, you know, in some cases a surgeon or something like that. You know, we always say like someone like that, you know, the super arrogant person walks in, all they're super pompous. I'm not saying be rude in that way at all, but I'm saying I think you should kind of establish a little bit the pecking order in this relationship here, that like, you know, be confident enough in yourself and be like, I know what I'm saying and I'm the boss. And yes, we're going to be having a great relationship and this is a team effort at the end of the day, but I am the physio. I am the one you are paying to see, right? If you're just going to rebound what I'm saying to you, like if you're just going to parrot back what I'm saying to you, then what good are you? You know what I mean? Like it's like if I'm going to say something and you're going to be like, yeah, you're right, but not give anything extra or like a counterpoint or anything like that, then it's like I may as well just talk to the mirror. You know what I mean? And that's what it feels like in a lot of these, in every physio interaction I've had for the last 15 years. It's like, I should have just had a freaking assessment done with the mirror. Because the guy talking is he's asking all the questions anyways, right? He's not getting any, he's not getting any pushback, any original ideas, any creative things. Oh, have you tried this? And me go, no, I hadn't even thought about that. That's a great idea. Nothing. Like I'm just getting a parrot just talking like back to what I'm saying, right? And so it's just parroting back what I'm saying, right? And meanwhile, all the while throughout all this, I'm paying $140 to talk to the mirror, right? And it's like, man, I could talk to myself for free, you know? Like, I come up with half my ideas like that, like, you know, like, it's just me talking to myself, me being like, why don't I try this on why don't I do that? You know, I haven't had anyone who's been like, you're wrong. I would love for someone to tell me that. Like, literally, I would love for someone to be like, actually, Frank, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're doing this wrong, right? Because ultimately, I want the best outcome as I can out of this surgery. I want to follow exactly what they want me to do. I do not want to do too much too soon. I want to do exactly what they want me to do. So it's incredibly frustrating when then you go to a physio appointment and me being like, I'm going to do exactly what the person tells me to do. But the person doesn't tell me to do anything. You know what I mean? I'm the one saying everything, and they're just being like, yeah, that's a good idea. And like, that's all, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're sure. True. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, that could be. It makes sense. So it's like, I'm here because I am admitting, the reason that I'm going to you is because I am admitting and trying to admit that it's like, I need help. I need help getting better, right? And I will do anything you ask me to do. So it doesn't work when this is a one-way conversation of me just basically talking to myself and you parroting back, right? Because then in terms of, if you really want to know what I want to do, I'll tell you right now, what I want to do is get on the goddamn bike right now. That's what I want to do. I want to go for a walk around the block right now, right? Because I think I could do it, right? I think this like 2 weeks, like, and then go back to the non-weight bearing. It's like, I gotta tell you, I'm in 0 out of 10 pain right now. And so it's like, I feel like I could at least bike, like with zero resistance, at least backwards pedal. I feel like I can do that pretty confidently. I felt like I could do that the day of the surgery, to be honest with you. Like I got back from the surgery and was like, no, I'm good. Pain levels, like, you know, here 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 5, 6 hours post surgery when the anesthetics is gone. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm literally in zero pain. I could bike right now if I want. Maybe 2 out of 10, maybe. And so that's my problem right now. Is my problem is I'm wanting so badly to listen and be like, I'm all yours. I'm all ears. Whatever you want me to do, I'm gonna do it. Right? You just tell me what I want, like what you want me to do. And I will follow it to a T because I want to have this get as good as it can get. So I can be as good as I can be, right? But if I go to someone and yeah, they're just saying I'm right all the time and you know, and being like, yeah, good idea, then I'm not getting anything out of that. And so anyways, you can tell I'm really frustrated right now because I'm just like, it's yet another, that's why I say like the going all the way back, the still haven't found what I'm looking for song. It's just yet another. I am trying so hard over these past 9 years now to keep faith in the profession. I am trying so freaking hard, man. And giving them opportunity after opportunity to like redeem themselves. Oh, I'm going to go to this person. Oh, I'm going to do it right this time. And I'm going to go see this person because they were so highly recommended, whatever. I am trying so hard. Here, it's like I'm going to one of the best sports medicine clinics, like a world-renowned sports medicine clinic, right? And yet it's just time and time again I'm getting let down where I'm seeing the resident who knows F all. And it's like, and then here it's like today, okay, I'm seeing a first year who's never seen this before in my life, looks like a deer in the headlights the whole time, and I'm just gonna, okay, I guess I'm gonna assess myself. You know, I'll give me the computer, I'll start typing it out for you. Like, because you're not fast enough typer. I'm looking at your typing rate and you're maybe at 70 words a minute. I could type a lot faster than that, pass over the computer, let's go. So like, we'll get this train on the road here. And so it's like, it's just yet another experience. And all of these, problem with having a really good memory is all of these go into my memory box of being like, yeah, it's yet another physio who is useless. And that's what I'm saying to myself right now. Yeah, yet another physio who is absolutely useless, who knew absolutely nothing, right? Who you know, like just, or not that they knew nothing, but that they're not bringing anything original that I'm not already doing or thinking of, right? They're just parroting back. All I keep meeting are parrots, right? And as I said, I next time I'm gonna, you know, I can get free assessment looking at the mirror, right? And just talking to myself and being like, oh, so hey, Mr. Sorbara, how are you feeling today? Oh, I'll tell you. Like, you know, I could have the Gollum conversation. Anyways, 39-minute rant. I don't even know if I've made this public, but I'm going to sit down. My left leg is absolutely throbbing. Not the surgical leg, the left leg, because right now, as you can see, I'm fully leaned on my left side. And I'll try to settle down because, yeah, it's just, it's depressing. It is. It's like, I have a degree in this. I spent like probably 50 grand on that degree and everything. And, you know, I've lost so much faith in the profession from my interactions with various physiotherapists. I saw 3 different pelvic health physios. They were so useless, it wasn't even funny. I'll say it here because I am not going to write it on Google reviews, but the last pelvic health physio that I had in Guelph was just a total all she did was fascial work. She did 0 exercises. If she gave any exercises, she directed me to YouTube videos and would be like, hey, and not like specific videos, just like, hey, why don't you check out Dr. Bree's channel on YouTube? And it's like, listen, I'm like 2 years into this journey. You don't think that I've gone to YouTube and typed in pelvic floor dysfunction and seen that Dr. Bree's channel is literally the very first hit that comes up on YouTube? You don't think I've seen any of her videos at this point? Come on. Like, take your head out of, you know what? Like, it's like, wake up. And so she did 0 exercises, and she did just all fascial work. And it's like, one, you can't deform fascia, period. You know, like, humans cannot produce enough force to deform fascia to any significant degree. It's a known fact. But then more so was the fact that she was, because it's in my pelvic region, she was doing extremely gentle fascial work. The two are very contradictory. You cannot do like petting my taint, like petting the petting my perineum. Okay. I was saying the other because people won't know what perineum is, but you can look it up. Petting my perineum gently, or like trying to traction it gently in my perineum. Listen, that is doing absolutely nothing right now. And I felt like saying it so bad when she was doing these treatments, being like, you know that you're doing nothing. You're giving me a gentle pet. That's nice. I'm great. But listen, $130 for 30 minutes and you're like gently petting me there. Like, it's doing nothing. And that's all she did. And then she would just like talk the whole appointment. And like she would just chit chat, and it's like, trust me, I could talk with the best of them. But like, again, I'm paying you $130 for 30 minutes. So like, you get to work. Like start doing something. And I'd be in my head screaming, being like, start doing something. Please stop talking to her in my head. Like, please stop talking and start doing something, because I am paying. I don't know what that works out to a minute. I think it's like $4 a minute. It's like, I'm paying you $4 a minute. Okay. So like, please start doing something. Please. Like, she would just like be holding my leg, and it's like, move the leg. Like screaming in my head, like, move it, let's go. Anyways, it's just another one of these experiences, and I don't know what I'll do for the future. As I said, like, if there are things that I come up against where I'm like, oh, I can't do that on my own, right? Then I'll reconsider going back into physio. But right now, I'm very much leaning into the boat of, I think that's probably my last physio appointment. Unless, as I said, unless I think that there's something that I look at in the program and I say, I don't know how to do this, or I don't understand this, the theory behind this, or whatever, or I literally just can't do this on my own because I need a second pair of hands to do X, Y, or Z. If I come up against that, then yes, I will revisit. But right now, I'm thinking that that's probably my last physio appointment. And that's funny because every single one that I've come out of the last few years, I'm like, that's the last time I ever go to see a physio, ever. I'm never going back to physio. And I've said that, and that's disheartening when I have a degree in it. And I'm like coming out of every physio appointment being pissed off and being like, that's the last time I ever go see a physio and waste money. And so that is incredibly disheartening. To have that attitude towards it when, as I said, when you spent 50 grand on having it yourself, right? Having been educated in that yourself. Anyways, if you're around still, thanks so much for watching. Sorry to be angry, but You can understand $140 is a lot of money, and when you're in my scenario where it's I'm wanting to get better, I'm wanting to, and it keeps showing up and just keeps getting let down by these things. It's very frustrating. So, anyways, off to do some training plans. I'll do a couple training plans today. And then, yeah, do another round of my exercises. And, yeah, it's already noon, so we've, hey, one part of the good, that's a good positive way of framing things. Between this rant and, the actual appointment, we've killed a chunk of time. That's the state I'm in right now. I'm literally just going through these days just trying to kill time. And so until I can get back on the bike. Like, this is all just, I'm all just right now, kill time, kill time, kill time. One more. We're one more day closer to being back on the bike. One more day. Just give me one more. Give me one more. You can do one more. You can do 24 more hours. Come on, 24 more. And it's kind of like, at that thing of the last 10K of the marathon. It's like, okay, give me one more. We're going, give me to the next aid station, whatever. Just come on, keep pushing to the next one. And that's where I am. And this is the mental toughness coming in, being like, you can give me 24 more hours without biking. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I know you love getting on Zwift, but just 24 more. And I kind of trick myself, because come the next day, then it's like, okay, 24 more now. Come on, you can do it. And so, anyways, eventually we will get back soon. And as I said at the beginning of this video, boredom being the #1 enemy is a good thing instead of pain, because we are in close to no pain. Like, there is some discomfort with certain movements and stuff like that, of course, but for the most part, it's been a pain-free week, so that's good. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. My left foot is officially numb because I'm leaning on it so hard here, and I'll catch you next time.